Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back to another wonderful episode of Metal Gear University.
I'm T.
And I'm Kay. And we are so excited to be talking about today the best Metal Gear Solid game.
The best?
The best. The best. This whole day. Anyway, we are excited to jump into that topic. But first, we want to check in, see how all of you are doing. Thank you for joining us again on the series of 201 episodes. We're going to slowly get to Metal Gear Solid 4. It's not that we're scared. We are not scared.
We're scared.
We're not scared. We had a very long 101 series for Metal Gear Solid 3.
Yeah, we wanted to have a little bit of a break, admittedly. And we have the list of episodes that we got to do. And 4 is close.
It's actually, I think, probably like 2 or 3 episodes away, unless we shift it. So don't hold us to it. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But everyone, last episode, we received a couple of emails and comments. Thank you all for really kind of hearing us out. I know last episode was a little bit different than what we usually do. It felt kind of like a Metal Gear University episode.
I felt like we lived to our title for once.
I know, the MGU. I hate saying the MGU.
The MGU Cinematic Universe.
That's what I keep hearing in my head. I just can't. But the Metal Gear University series of episodes, that one felt the most academic. So thank you for all for giving it a chance listening to us. And we actually had people send us PDFs of like writings and send us some like links to other works, just in kind of this discussion of Quiet and womanhood in the series. So thank you all so much. We received one email that we really wanted to touch on because it actually pointed out something that we missed.
Yeah.
And so, go ahead.
Oh, I thought you were going to leave.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. So we were discussing Gamergate, and we kind of spoke first off of Anita Sarkeesian, and we sadly missed that Gamergate was much larger than that. So we wanted to, of course, just say briefly, for those that don't know, Gamergate, yes, and Anita Sarkeesian was a major part of it, but it began before that with this indie developer, Zoe Quinn. And there was a larger story regarding, like, I think her writing reviews, or like people writing reviews about her games. I would say, I don't think we have any video that we've watched recently to kind of give a larger explanation of Gamergate.
Yeah, admittedly, it has been a little bit of a minute since I've really delved into that rabbit hole. I admittedly forgot about the ethics and gaming journalism side of it.
Yeah, quote unquote, right? Like the
yeah.
whole...
To me, personally, like the Anna Sarkeesian thing was the face of it. But thank you for reminding us of the other side. The ethics of gaming journalism needs to be protected at all costs. So
I mean, I think it's like again the larger issue of, you had this really big blowback. You had this really large population of people who were, like you said, it was unwarranted and undue. What was it you said? Like the hate that she received was unwarranted.
Oh yeah, completely unwarranted.
And the two of them. So I mean, I would say I would highly recommend looking at a very, like, I don't think Jesse Gender has done a video on Gamergate. Maybe if they did, it's a while back. But look up a video that's maybe not so partial to, the one side or the other. A nice general...
Yeah, try to find something that is like very neutral and just an historical thing. If you see a thumbnail when you type in Gamergate on YouTube and you just see like a dude just
red flag.
If you just see a dude just like in the thumbnail with like an angry face, and then there's like an explosion in the background, and then there's like
women in gaming, like, just please, for me, for Kay.
Yo, no, okay, I delved into like a rabbit hole. This is completely going off of a tangent here, but I delved into a rabbit hole of like, let me just see some like stupid Warhammer crap, and I fell down this thing, and they had like Henry Cavill in like a Warhammer armor.
Okay.
And it just had gay. Just in massive letters.
In front of him?
Yes. It was crazy looking. I was like, damn, people watch this crap?
People do.
That's crazy.
And what's scary with YouTube is that it shows you what you want to see. And so if you click something like that, it's going to suggest more losers to watch. Just, I would say it's very important to be critical of what you watch. You know, always you hear something, double check it, take a moment to see what resonated, what different, what didn't resonate. But also be careful what you watch because
Your algorithm could be messed up for life if you click on the wrong
but
thing.
not even that. It's a slippery slope to seeing videos where you may go into, like I said, you may go into one thing about Warhammer, and then you're like, why is it so, like, sexist?
Oh, okay. Another example.
Star Wars?
Yes. No, like when Rise of Skywalker came out, I hated that movie on a purely narrative basis. And I looked up online reviews because, like, you know, there's like a couple of like people I watch online, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, I want to see their takes. After I watched some of those, I got some like interesting ones where it was like feminism is ruining Star Wars,
Yeah.
and I'm like, yo, what?
No, I mean, people are definitely talking about this. We can go on for a whole tangent, but if you're listening, be careful because there is definitely a contingent of people, and sadly, it's a lot of people who they may not be a big part of the community, but they are loud.
They're very loud. Yeah.
So watch the things you look at, watch the people that you're friends with, check them because this stuff is real. People do receive death threats. People do have valid criticisms, and it's okay to criticize art. It's okay to talk about this. That's all I gotta say. Anyway, last episode, I think we had a great discussion, and I think too just a larger idea of like different ideas and thoughts and people in gaming. It's so important. It's needed on a very personal basis. It's nice to see more women in gaming, to see more non-binary people in gaming because we've been in this for a while. It's just now it's a lot
just not represented.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So just I would say definitely explore. If you're not familiar with Gamergate, definitely go back and find a nice neutral or nice video about the origins. Maybe we should have came with one that we like. Did we?
I mean, we kind of just thought of this on the fly.
Yeah. I mean, I would definitely recommend checking Anita Sarkeesian's work. Again, her stuff isn't bad.
No.
Go take a look at it. I would recommend also Jessie Gender.
Oh yeah, they make great videos. I'm unsure if they made a video specifically about Gamergate, but one that comes to mind. They made a video talking about the Matrix. I forgot the newest one. It would the newest Matrix.
The
movie.
need for stories, right? Like the need for.
Yeah, but like they made a video talking about how the newest Matrix movie is actually like pretty decent. And I went into that and I was like, I didn't really like it. But I left it with like a newfound respect. And I'm like, you know what? I see what they're getting at. And that's cool.
You get right. Just because you differ doesn't mean that someone's wrong or right. I think that binary of thinking, you and I were talking about that if you disagree with somebody, at least the way my mind has sadly been operating, if I disagree with them, they're wrong or bad. And it's hard sometimes, I think, to get out of that mode.
Yeah, I know that all too well. I am the kind of guy that if you have a dumb take, I'm like, all right, I'm done.
But isn't that so terrible?
But it is terrible. And I'm actively trying to combat that because nobody's perfect except me. So I have to give people their grace, you know?
Because we wouldn't want someone doing that to us.
Exactly. But I wouldn't have that because I'm perfect.
You're perfect.
So yeah, I don't have any bad takes. I'm perfect.
But anyway, 90 and everyone else who emailed us, thank you so much for just the further discussion. We read all the emails. It's just great to get like these really thought out and developed emails. So as always, if you have anything you want to add, you can email us at itstkandm, that is itstkandm@gmail.com. On the topic of like ranting and people being wrong though, there was something this week that came up that T's been very upset about.
The AI Studio Ghibli filter. Now, it is not just the Studio Ghibli filter. It is AI in general.
It's bad.
For people who listened to our 101 for Metal Gear Solid 2, I am so against AI because I feel that it is, if not put in check, it can be the literal death of everything.
AI should have been there to write your grocery list, there to, a quick meal plan, like something, to like something quick, something that maybe you need a further assistance with. It's not there to make art. It's not there to be your therapist. It's not there to what else? Recreate a dead rapper's voice. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's. I think we're going in the wrong route about it. And the Studio Ghibli nonsense, like I I've seen so many takes on Blue Sky and online, and it's just sad. It honestly just makes me sad.
Yeah, because I feel like it cheapens art. It cheapens our lives. It cheapens the way we interact with the world. Because, I mean, not to sound like corny about anything, but like we value art and we value all of these creative things that are around us because a human made them. You're seeing someone's perspective. And when you take that away and all you get is just some machine that just spits it out.
The best directors, your favorite movie, your favorite game, indie or larger, you like it because there's someone tied to it. For these Kojima games, we like it because of Kojima and his mind. We like Scorsese because he's Scorsese, or Tarantino. We like these people because they have a style and a finesse to them. And like you said, to was it commodify it, or I don't know if that's the word, but like
It cheapens it.
And for the sake of who?
For nothing. For major corporations who already have all the money in the world, but they could save money by not paying people. And that's all it's there to do. AI is not meant to do anything except take your job away from you.
And not even that too. It's not as if like it's coming up with these ideas on its own.
It steals them.
These ideas are like other works, art, writing. Things are fed or given to these machines, and they just kind of recreate it based on what they already have in mind, or what they already have. You know what I mean? And that they've been fed. So like this whole idea of like you have this robot creating new things. It's not. It's just an amalgamation of everything that it's been given. And so this, I think it's been cool seeing on Blue Sky, like at least on my timeline, everyone's been so against it and so kind of like pushing back against it. I think with shit like this, there needs to be a continuous effort to like ignore it, fight it. You know what I mean? Like not give in. I think the minute we start like they want us to be docile and complicit because then they can just do whatever they want. But I think everyone pushing forward, I think it doesn't feel like it's doing anything, but I do think it's helpful.
Every time I've ever seen anybody with a pro AI in any form, a pro AI stance, I just shake my head and I'm like, man, you just don't get it. You just don't get it, man.
It's again, like there are uses for it, but in the art world, in my realm of like work and like the therapy realm, it's people are trying to incorporate it into places. I think.
I don't. Can I share something?
Sure.
I go to therapy. First of all, everyone should. Second of all, my therapist was telling me that there are some organizations out there where therapists can opt in to record their sessions and send it in. And there's a learning model that takes that and it manipulates it into being an AI therapist. And that is fucking dystopian. Like imagine.
No, I see it in my job.
There are people out there who are depressed and alone and they don't know what to do. And you're going to take away a human that could listen to them and connect with them. And you're going to replace it with a fucking robot?
Yeah.
That is why the Butlerian Jihad happened. I'm just saying. Dune had it right. We need to go back. We need to end this.
Yeah, I mean, even with therapy too, the point of therapy is to speak to someone who knows you, who's able to remember your past sessions or make connections, or it takes time. You know, therapy, I feel like, at least when I hear of like a teen or someone using Chat GBT to maybe navigate their own feelings, people want a quick answer. And I think that's the shit with AI. People want quick. People don't value time. And when it comes to art and when it comes to therapy,
It's time.
shit takes time. Quick fixes are never permanent fixes.
They're never. No.
You
Dipping
know?
your head in a ice bucket will only feel good for like 2 days. And then you're going to crash out. Like that. Like
Yeah.
it takes time.
Shit takes time. And I think with AI, it's a continuation of people not respecting art. People want art, but they don't respect the time it takes. They don't respect artists. But I think, and I do believe, I mean, as a society, it takes time, but we always move in the right direction. So I think right now we're just living in the moment where it seems hectic, but I think we'll move in the way against it. I really do believe so.
I believe so too.
But yeah, fuck AI. That Studio Ghibli stuff is just so stupid.
I feel like we're getting very preachy.
We are getting preachy. You want to move on to one last thing, the Nintendo Direct?
Yeah, okay.
You know what? I was about to get preachy with that too. That thing's $1 million. I really
It is.
Instead of being depressed during COVID, I should have been saving money.
Yeah, same. I mean, we thought the world was ending, so who
So-
could have thought? It's funny because like when we were watching the Nintendo Direct, I was actually like pretty excited. I was like, wow, this looks kind of cool. And as it was coming to a close, I was like, okay, price. Whoa, what are we talking? And it just ended, and I'm like, oh, that was weird.
Because they knew they would have ended it on a terrible note if they put the price.
Yeah, and I was like, that's weird.
Yeah, they're like, go look it up. Go see the price. You know what? Great Direct, right? We did a great job. You're excited for everything. We're going to end it here. You take your time and see the price for yourself. Just remember how good this was. Just
And then-
remember.
$450.
And each game is like $90. In this economy?
No.
Of all economies?
No.
This one?
No.
I should have started saving money when I was born. I should have just...
Like, no, I don't know the specs. I don't know the tech. $450 for a Switch 2, maybe. I don't know. But you're gonna look at me dead in the face and say that the next Mario Kart game is a $90 game.
Oh, is Mario Kart World?
You suck my dick. No.
It's Nintendo. It's family friendly.
Fuck off.
It was a great Direct. One of the best I've seen, but just that...
Yeah. Besides the price point, everything looked awesome. Like, I love that Prime 4 is happening. That From Software,
Oh my God.
not Bloodborne.
Not Bloodborne.
It looks pretty cool.
Nintendo exclusive.
I'm
What does
so-
that even mean?
I
That's-
don't know.
Shit is weird. Shit is weird.
Yeah.
You know, ready to keep going? Let's just, you know what? Let's get into the... Thank you for hanging out.
Yeah, I feel like we've been doing this for a minute. Let's go into the pop quiz. Are you ready for the pop quiz?
I'm ready. Let's start.
Sick. So, Kay,
Mm-hmm.
I wrote 3 questions. I wrote
Want to do it over?
No. I wrote
We're doing it live.
3 questions based on our last episode.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Are they going to be open-ended questions?
Some are.
Okay.
Question number 1. What did Kojima mean by having Quiet to be designed as more erotic?
What did Kojima mean by having Quiet be designed? Okay. And this is actually similar to what we were talking about in our intro and talking about like eroticism and 90, a viewer had sent over an Audre Lorde article. Anyway, that's to say, in terms of being erotic, it's not in the sense of being sexy or like something like a sexual nature. Erotic is more so in the sense of she is representative of something larger, and that is like that her character is much larger than what you see. So while she is designed as this half or 3/4 naked person, and it's, you know, there's some scenes that are could be seen as very sexual in nature, she is representative of a larger, deeper meaning. And from what we read, Kojima was intending to say she's representative of how women are shown in war games. She was supposed to be a critique on the over sexualization of women in I guess in these types of games,
Mm.
which is why the connotation is more erotic in that sense.
I see. That is correct.
That is a very tough question, and I would implore myself, you, and everyone listening to look into Audre Lorde. She is a great, oh my god, how would you even describe her? She's a writer, she's a philosopher, she's a
Did you just say she's a member of the Philosophers?
I wish. I mean, she would be right probably if she was there. But look into her because she also discusses kind of like that idea, I think, where Kojima was heading in terms of being erotic
Mhm.
and being much deeper, like have things having a much deeper meaning, being much more closely tied to emotions and meanings and like this idea, I think, too, of memes. And like, I think there's a conversation between memes and eroticism in that way.
Mhm.
I digress.
I'm not sure if I said you were correct before, but yeah, you are correct.
Thank you, thank you.
All right. Question number 2. This is kind of, I feel like you answered this already, but fuck it. When Kojima said, "You will be ashamed of your words and deeds," what point was he trying to make?
Kojima states again that he was intending Quiet to be a criticism of the way women are depicted in these types of games. Overly sexualized, almost nude. For example, like armor that is not representative of the place they're in. You know what I mean? Women who are just basically their gender is fully tied to their character or character model. So when he says you'll be ashamed, it was supposed to be because you'd understand the deeper meaning for her character. People did not get that, and so that quote is forever in infamy.
That is correct. Wow.
I think to his credit, he said that before the game was released.
he did.
So he was kind of smarter than all of us, but sadly, it just didn't land.
It did not land. Which leads into our third question. Question number 3. Do you believe having Quiet as a critique on over-sexualization was successful?
This pop quiz is more kind of like essay-based questions.
No, when I was writing this, I was like, wow, the MGU. Look at us.
MGU.
It's like we kind of know what we're talking about.
I'd be on the university. But I mean, I think what'd be cool is that if people want to email me and tell me their answers.
Yeah, we've yet to have
We
that.
have yet to have any. Well, I lie. Someone did tell me they scored a pop quiz, I think, once.
You didn't tell me this.
Months ago. I told you.
I guess I forgot.
Months, but it was like I feel like it was just one email.
Oh, you were slacking on homework.
We should give homework one day. Anyway, I believe that the intended critique was not received. It was not successful, sadly.
Mhm.
As we've been discussing, Kojima had a bigger idea for her, and I think I think maybe just Kojima maybe wasn't. I don't know what again he could have done. I think maybe it's just maybe too much is happening. Maybe he's not the strongest person to write that message.
Yeah. I mean, in the email that we referenced earlier, they even made the point of having this kind of critique in this style of game, like in a AAA action game that's dominated by a certain demographic, that this kind of a thing just won't land that well. And that I feel is like definitely the reason why this didn't land.
Good point. It needed to be more in your face. It needs to be like on the nose, like this is.
Yeah, like this would have landed in like Disco Elysium or something. You know what I mean? Like something like this would have landed somewhere a little bit more niche.
Yeah. So it's sadly not successful, but maybe not his fault.
I don't know. It's not his fault in the sense of like that he didn't try, but I feel like he failed because he didn't read the room. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He didn't meet. It's kind of like, I think last episode I said it, like you have to be able to explain your terms. Sometimes if you're not able to explain it simply, then you really don't know.
Yeah, you don't know.
You don't know it. So I think there should have been something a little bit more in your face on the nose for people who need that.
Mhm.
Sometimes the allegory, it's too heavy.
I feel like I was like 50-50 with you on this question, but you are correct.
Yeah, these are all kind of like subjective.
Yeah,
so-
these are all subjective questions. So everybody's right if your point makes sense.
Yeah, be able to explain yourself.
Yeah. So even if you had the opposite of answers that Kay had, if you had a good point, you succeeded.
I mean, if you disagree with me, you're just wrong though. So I'm perfect. Anyway, ready for the episode?
On with the episode. So Kay,
Mm-hmm.
what makes the best Metal Gear Solid game?
Should we explain what it means to us? What
Mm.
Metal Gear Solid means?
Sure.
When I think of Metal Gear Solid, I am thinking of a very big critique on war, very big critique on society, and a very big critique on the military industrial complex. All of that wrapped into a fun game.
Mhm.
That's what I think Metal Gear Solid is.
It's kind of funny. I feel the exact same way. I feel like that is at its heart what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be really interesting social critiques, but still like fun. And you could have like a stupid time with it, but at the same time run into something that is like thought provoking.
I feel like Kojima both wanted to say something, but also have something that was very innovative and immersive.
And silly.
And silly. But like I feel like it was like those two first points, immersive and what did I say? Immersive and innovative, in the sense that he has his point he wants to make. He has his story, but I also think he appreciates the medium of like video games because he's able to be like, okay, if someone's gonna interact with it, what I always tell you, I feel like he goes to these like Sony, he'll go to these companies and be like, what is possible with this console?
Mhm.
Like I'm thinking about his game for the Game Boy when it's like it was
Oh yeah,
able
the solar powered.
the solar powered game. What was that called? Do you remember?
Ooh, Boktai? I think Boktai.
Boktai, I think so. That sounds familiar. Well, he had his Game Boy game where it had a solar panel in the cartridge, and in order to, I guess, power up or be able to get your
Yeah, your gun was powered by sunlight. In
so
that game.
yeah, so you had to go outside and hit like, but like the genius and stupidity of that, and like he was thinking, okay, how do I make this, or what is possible with this? So I
Mhm.
feel like I think about he has a big story to tell, but also how can I make sure a character reads your memory card? How can I make sure that the controller vibrates in a certain way? Or so I think that's probably why he's so much more suited for gaming as opposed to like I think everyone always talks about Kojima making a movie. I think this is his bread and butter.
I agree. God, I wish I could say something different.
Well, I mean, to you, like Metal Gear Solid. I mean, you had this has been a series that's been in your life for
Since I was about like 10 years old.
so like to you, like what does Metal Gear Solid mean to you?
To me, I feel that Metal Gear is. I feel like it's a series that is not only like fun to play, but it makes you think. And it makes you potentially see how you see the world a little differently.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say that this series is alone in having these kinds of traits, but for me, it was the first one that made me really think about the world around me and made me think about how I viewed myself, even. And I feel like the best Metal Gear Solid game is something that captures not only like what it means to be in like the military or like living a life that is like violent or something, but like navigating your own personal journey. Like what game best represents that?
And I feel like for a lot of people, when they think about their favorite game of all time, they think about a game that hit them maybe at a certain period in their life,
Mhm.
or maybe a game that had a theme that was it hit close to home. So, for example, I think of one of my favorite games ever is Kingdom Hearts and Kingdom Hearts 2, but it's shrouded like it's covered in the fact of like I played that when I was like I think 9 or 10,
Mhm.
and that's a very pivotal moment in my life. It Kingdom Hearts 2 captured like the dreamlike and existentialism that I began to feel at that age of, getting older. Some people think God of War,
Mm.
um, as like some people have that as their favorite game. And I think about this idea of like a duty, this idea of family,
Yeah.
this idea of also too what it means to be a father and a man. So like I feel like you have people pick those games based on those type of stories and feelings. But Metal Gear Solid specifically, I feel like it's a game that asks you questions directly. I think about Metal Gear Solid 2 with Snake talking to Raiden. You know what I mean? Like it's I feel like those games were like very on the nose and very much it forced you to think. There was no potential for you to like play the game and I can play Kingdom Hearts 2 and just okay go on my day. I can play God of War and go on my day. Metal Gear Solid 2 was like no, you're gonna listen to this monologue, this speech, and it's gonna be about what you pass on in life. Its intention was clear.
Yeah.
So
So, before we say what we picked, we thought that it would be fun to see what professional critics have said on Metacritic.
is Metacritic like a culmination of all?
Yeah, it's like a culmination of like a bunch of like professional critics, and then they have like a user. Think of it like Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, so they just like combine everything and then
Yeah, they combine like a bunch of.
I like that. Okay, so it's not just one person. They combine everything.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, do you want to go from the bottom and then go to the top?
Yeah.
Okay. So at the bottom, which I am surprised.
Are these all the mainline games?
Mainline, and I threw in a couple of respectable mentions.
They didn't have Metal Gear 2 here?
I looked, and if it was there, I couldn't find it.
Maybe because they're so old, right?
Maybe.
Oh,
I don't know.
Okay.
But the first one, or
The bottom
at
of
the
list.
bottom, is Metal Gear Rising with an 80.
Rising Revengeance?
Yeah.
80's not bad though.
No, it's not bad. And that's the lowest score. So like that
80's the lowest score. Jeez.
So like this series is pretty good. It's pretty good.
80's the lowest. And what's funny is that when we talk about Metal Gear Solid games, that's some people would say it's not a Metal Gear Solid game because Kojima was just a producer on it. Like he was just consulted.
He was like a consultant on that game. But I like
it is
fun.
It is. It's fun, but it's very kind of apparent to me there was no larger.
No. It's just supposed to be dumb and fun.
I think that part of Metal Gear, the silliness,
Yeah,
100%. So 80's not bad though.
No. Up next is Portable Ops with an 87. It's respectable.
We're gonna eventually play that. That's Metal Gear Solid Poops. Is that what people say?
Poops.
Okay.
Poops. Up next is the other portable one, Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, coming in at 89.
Oh, you see, I think that's what makes this like episode so interesting because you think about the best Metal Gear Solid game, and I'm so stupid because we're listing them out, and I'm like, wow, it's a great game, bitch. You've run a podcast for Metal Gear Solid. Of course, you think these games are good.
Oh, that's a good game. Yeah.
Wow, they were right to put it there.
Yeah.
Fucking idiot. Peace Walker. I can see why it's lower on the list. It's interesting that it's higher than Rising because Rising's a much more, I think, typical game.
Yeah.
This one is. It's not as
the story carries it because
Yeah.
to me the gameplay it's a little lackluster in my opinion.
I think that's what's carrying the score too is the story.
Yeah,
And I mean, this is the turning point for Naked Steak.
it is.
This is
It is the turning point.
for Big Boss. So I think that's why it's at 89. It's so heavy because you're watching the origin. Well, you're watching that turning point.
Yeah,
live.
it's when Snake officially dies and Big Boss is officially born.
And I mean, I think the ending segment of that game is so powerful too. Just the removing the memory from the AI pod. I think that alone just carries the entirety of this game.
Up next, I was genuinely shocked. Metal Gear Solid 3 coming in at 91.
Wow.
I was actually really shocked by
No,
that.
and you know what's gonna be okay? I want to say the next one because I
Uh-huh.
know people are gonna be pissed off. So Metal Gear Solid 3 is at a 91. Above it is Metal Gear Solid 5 with a 93. That's gonna ruffle
Yeah,
some
that's
feathers.
gonna ruffle some feathers. It's kind of funny.
But it's also negligible because it's like two digits off. So
yeah, it's kind of funny because what MGS5 I feel has 3 doesn't have, and what 3 has 5 doesn't have.
well, I mean fair, but they're saying whatever 5 did was better than
Oh, because arguably, this is now whatever your opinion on 5 is, it is without a doubt the best gameplay this series has ever had.
Could it also be like recency bias?
No. I'm in strict terms of pure gameplay, it's the best one.
I'm just
Without a
thinking,
doubt.
I'm just thinking, you know how like when you rank something and then whatever is the most recent, it usually gets it gets a score based on all the other ones because you already reviewed all the other ones. And you're looking at it.
Yeah.
It's like it's kind of hard for it to stand on its own. That's what I'm thinking too.
Uh-huh.
Like maybe they, someone, they had reviewed all the previous Metal Gears and they're like, oh, it's a little better than 3. Let me put it up more. So
It could be.
that's what I'm thinking. No, 5 though. I said my piece on 5. 5 is
No, it's very respectable. And I love 5. It's not my personal number 1, but I like it than a lot of other Metal Gear games that are on this list. Speaking of,
Oh wait, this is wild too. How is Metal Gear Solid 4 above both of them at 94? Okay, I don't know if I agree with that.
yeah, that's what I was going to say. My hot take, I don't know if it's a hot take for a lot of people, but
Wow.
my personal hot take is that 5 is so much more better than 4. I love 5 way more than 4. Now there
What?
are aspects of 4 that I absolutely love, but I just feel that 5 did it better.
Yeah. And I mean, again, when you have 5 at a 93 versus 4 at a 94, it's 1 point difference.
It's literally 1
But
point.
4 is still above 3 on this list,
It is.
which is interesting. I mean, that. I'm trying to think. You see, I wish too we knew how far apart these games were released. Do you know off the top of your head? Because
Oh, MGS4 came out in like 2007 or 8, if I was to guess. It launched with the PS3. It was like one of the launch titles. And Metal Gear Solid 5 came out in like oh, you mentioned it last episode. I think it came out in like 2015.
because I'm also wondering like how much does hype play into it? How much does the oh my god, another Metal Gear game. You know what I mean? Like how much
Yeah.
that plays into it. So 3 came out in 04 and then 4 came out in 08. So 4 years and you're waiting on
And 4 does conclude the series, and it does conclude Solid Snake's story. I love my boy Solid Snake. He is the best Snake.
best Snake, best husband, best father.
He's the best dude out there. So I love that you get to play with him one final time. I liked 5 better.
That's fair. Above 4 is Metal Gear Solid 1 at a 94. Oh, they tied.
Yeah, but it's above 4 because it has an 8.8 user score.
Oh,
So I just decided to break the tie that way. That's just how I did it.
wow. If you add up all the reviews, they rank them. They rank them which is funny if you think about it too. Chronologically, the first and the last game are ranked the same.
It's kind of poetic if you see it that way.
I do think it's. I don't know. I like Metacritic because they add everything all together, and so it kind of I think checks like it's a way to check people's I think like their recency bias. It checks people's like bias in regards to playing the old games. You're adding so many together. You can kind of it's a great way to just kind of like negate maybe extreme scores, either high or low.
Mhm.
But to see 1 and 4 tied, I mean, I feel like they couldn't be any more different.
Yeah, they're very. They're. Are they that different from each other? Well, 1 definitely is more silly. 4 is more silly and 1 is a little bit more grounded.
It's funny because thinking about this is making me kind of change what I think the best Metal Gear Solid game is. Just because 1 is a very it's a moment in time. It's a moment in time. It's one place, one location really, and you have again the larger story of like this guy who did not want to go in, who was threatened to go and complete this mission, all this secrecy and within the mission, and also what's given to him. You know what I mean? So like you have this real critique again on just like being a soldier. What does it mean to be a soldier? What does it mean to be true to yourself? Blah blah. And then 4 is just like a fucking like that on steroids.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
You're globetrotting around the world. Snake.
You're having that in every location you're in.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like it's this one guy again
he should not be there. He's an old ass man.
No, and but the same with like Snake too. Like he should not be there, but he was chosen to be there for like.
Yeah, and he's doing it because he sees it as his duty to do it.
So, wow, they actually are kind of similar.
Snake, man.
Oh, and lastly, just to continue on, the top of this list for the highest ranked Metal Gear Solid game is Metal Gear Solid 2 at a 96.
That's damn near perfect.
That is. I wonder what the 4 points. Like, I would love to know. Like,
If I was to guess, it would be lengthy cutscenes, because that's the only thing you could really have against it. Is like there are moments in this game where a cutscene starts and you just put down your controller for 20 minutes.
You think people could have ranked it low because they thought it was Solid Snake, or like that? I mean, again,
maybe
Raiden is a significant and powerful main character in his own right, but I do wonder if people maybe were a little jaded. Could have been, maybe. I mean, slightly, because 96 is super high.
That's almost perfect.
But maybe they were slightly jaded because they were like, we're Solid Snake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you never know.
So, I would say I agree with these scores. So,
Do you agree with the order?
From top to bottom, Metal Gear Solid 2, top ranking. Metal Gear Solid 2, Metal Gear Solid 1, 4, 5, 3, Peace Walker, Portable Ops, and Rising Revengeance. I would mix... Honestly, I don't know if I agree with the order. I would definitely, though, I would say that Peace Walker, Portable Ops, and Revengeance would be at the bottom of my list, though.
I would agree there.
I feel like, maybe purposely done, the ones that are numbered are the more significant ones.
I agree. So, we came up with a little fun thing. On the count of 3, we're going to say what our number 1 Metal Gear Solid game is.
I mean, or the best Metal Gear Solid game in our opinion.
In our opinion, the best Metal Gear Solid game. And if we both pick the same one, this episode's over. No explanation. We're not going to explain why.
We'll shake hands.
We'll shake hands. That's it. All right. Just to be sure, so that
why am I nervous?
So that we don't stumble over each other. We're going to go 3, 2, 1, and we're just going to say the number or the name.
Okay.
Okay? 3, 2, 1, 2.
Good episode.
Good episode.
Good episode. Thanks, everybody, for listening.
Metal Gear Solid 2 is the best one. Go play it. Have a great week, guys.
Bye. Okay, just kidding. We're back.
Yeah. We actually thought on actually ending the episode there. We were like, maybe we should explain why.
Actually give a reason. Because we have... It's one thing everybody knows it's 2. I bet you everyone's going to pick the same as us. But we have to give our reasonings. And it's funny, right? Because this episode is the best Metal Gear Solid, not our favorite. Yeah.
And 2, I feel like 2 would be my favorite on some days. It jumps back and forth between 2 and 3 for me personally.
You see, I feel like 3, while of course up there, top 3 Metal Gear Solid games, I wouldn't call it the best Metal Gear Solid game. Because to me, that's the best game for people who are coming into the series as new fans. That's a good entry point, a gateway Metal Gear Solid game. 2, I think, encompasses the core motive, the core message that Kojima I feel wants to share with everybody. And 3 is, to me, it just seems like an episodic, a moment in this one character's life.
Yeah, I always thought of 3 as like what you said, like if someone new were to come into the series, 3 would be a decent one to pick up. Either 3 or 1 or
I think people jumping into 2, while it would be confusing and weird, I think people who know the series felt that way anyway,
yeah.
playing 2.
Yeah, everybody was confused playing that fucking thing.
Which is funny because for new and old fans alike, we're in the same boat. So I think a new fan, despite being even more confused, they still come out of it with this idea. I would say two does, I mean, maybe gets knocked down a little bit just because once Snake appears in Otacon, they have no frame of reference for like who these guys are.
Yeah,
But I think again, the overall it's not even important who the fuck they are. It's important the message that they bring and give.
I agree. And the overall message of 2, I feel like what was trying to be communicated into and what like Kojima's like intent was so much more different than almost every other game in the series.
It's more meta.
It's the most meta he's ever gotten, I think.
Yeah, I'm trying to think right now too. Everything else, 5 was very character and choice based. 3 was character and choice. Like these, of course, you can analyze and deep dive, but it wasn't this really big monologue. Like you.
Yeah. And even in terms of like the big bad, like every other Metal Gear Solid game, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel that almost all of them were very straightforward in like fight the giant robot, stop the nuclear bomb, yada yada.
Would go ahead, sorry.
And with 2, not to say that there wasn't any giant robots and nuclear bombs, but the main threat of that game was much more uh obscure, you know.
It was an existential threat, right?
Yeah, there was definitely a lot more to say.
Would you say that the boss's monologue is on the same level as Snake's monologue in the end of 2? Because I think people might come to us and be like, hey, like that's a good message she gave. Uniting the world and what is it? Cooperation and cohabitation.
I think so. I feel that the boss's speech is up there with Snake's speech at the end of 2, but I think um with the boss's speech giving it to eventually Big Boss, it has like this future sense of dread, like you know where this is gonna end.
Because you play the game and
Yeah, because
2
like
stands alone.
yeah, because like even when 3 came out, you know who she's talking to, and you're
Good
like,
point.
oh, this dude is not gonna get it, and
What happened?
you know what I mean? Like he's not gonna get it. And with 2, Snake is coming from a place of like he gets it, and he's wherever
Good point.
like Solid Snake ended up in the place where the boss was trying to get Naked Snake to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that Snake being in that point in his life just kind of elevates to like a better, more hopeful ending.
That is a good point. I didn't think about it like that. We already had that basis for these characters. So interesting. I had a thought, but I just forgot it. Oh, I'm what was I gonna say? I forgot. Just I think too is again, I think it's just a smooth, solid entry. You take it away from the series and it's still it can stand alone. It can stand alone its own game. Um, I forgot what I was gonna say, but I think also let's speak. Oh, okay,
Hmm?
I remember. Sorry, it's not right to base it off of this, but I think the world in which we existed, um, when Metal Gear Solid 2 came out, it came out at a really opportune time. It was really kind of like it came out after this
After a certain event.
after a certain historical terrorist event. We're talking about the internet really becoming a bigger thing.
Uh-huh.
We're talking about people not having faith in their government. So I think it's not fair, but there's that historical context to 2 as well
Mm-hmm.
that none of the other games in the series really can. Like it was a perfect
Yeah, perfect
lightning
storm.
perfect storm. And so I think that also adds to the weight of Metal Gear Solid 2 and why I think also people remember it so clearly. For you and I mean, you played 2 when it came out.
Yeah.
How old were you? You were preteen, right? Teen?
I was preteen, yeah.
So I mean, a lot of people, when I look at the analytics for our podcast, a lot of people are in a similar age range to you and I. So if I can imagine if they played the game when it came out too, it came out as such like a pre-pubescent,
Yeah,
developing mind.
my brain was still jello, and it left an imprint on me for sure.
So I think it's through no choice of his own, but the timing in which this was released, it just worked in his favor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that began like the kind of auteur prophet that people consider him.
Oh yeah, that's definitely the case. Like, I mean, Metal Gear Solid 1, Kojima was seen as like, oh yeah, he's good. 2 was like, oh, he's like Nostradamus or something, you know?
This guy's beyond any other developer out here.
Yeah.
Let's speak briefly to, I think since it is a video game, I think we should touch on the gameplay, the graphics, the controls. As far as a Metal Gear Solid game goes, it's fine. It's not difficult. I don't think any of the Metal Gears are difficult to.
Yeah, they're not too difficult to pick up and
5,
play.
I would say, is the hardest, but
In terms of like what?
the controls, it messes me up.
Oh really? Oh, because like there's
just so much going on. I think with 2, I can only deal with so much, and I'm so scared in that game. So I think 2 is very accessible.
So 2 being more restrictive is more accessible for you.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I would say. I think there's also, I don't know, when you have a very convoluted gaming setup, sometimes I feel like it takes away from the game.
Mm-hmm.
No, I know you love Death Stranding.
Oh, I love it.
I love it too. That game is really fucking hard.
But
doesn't make it bad. It's
but
just,
what about the cargo management and the weight distribution and the walking?
I will just say some people may be turned off by it.
Okay.
That's not a negative on the game, but it may not be as accessible. I feel like Metal Gear Solid 2 is accessible.
I see.
It's accessible. It's simple. I think that is a good thing to point out about a game.
It is obviously a PS2 game from 2001. That said, I feel like the graphics stand up even to this day. And I know that like that might be my nostalgia glasses. I reconcile that these are like polygonal men that we're looking at. I'm not stupid. But like I feel like they have just enough facial features, just enough hair physics to make the world feel believable. You know what I mean?
And plus with the voice acting.
Yeah, and the voice acting is like top notch.
It elevates it.
Yeah.
It elevates it. So yeah, like you said, it looks like I guess a retro game now.
Yeah.
It is. I've seen indie games that look like that. It's solid.
Oh yeah.
It's not like you're playing Metal Gear or Metal Gear 2. This is a pretty solid, fluid game. When it came out, very advanced for its time.
No, I remember when this game came out, people were saying like, "Yo, this looks like a movie," like unironically. I mean, not even just in terms of like camera angles and voice acting. People thought that the graphics was like, "This is I can't tell the difference between this and real life."
I think it's hard for new fans to come in and see it and the game, like have the game hold the same weight that it did when we were younger, when you were younger. But I do think that people, when they play this, if they're playing it for the first time, they will get the strongest message out of this game. I think the Raiden as a character, I think, is just a beautiful representation of maybe how it feels to be young and you're being told what to do and maybe you don't trust it or believe it. You're just going with the motions until you're confronted with the truth and you have to reconcile with that pain or distrust. And then to have Solid Snake neatly wrapped that bow up, that feeling, that confusion. I think people will still resonate with that, and I think that's why it just holds such a like high esteem, and I think that's why it should be at the top of this list. I think everything is great about the game, graphics, controls, gameplay, and then you have this tight story and message. And I think 10 years from now, it'll still mean something to a little Rugrat who's playing it for the first time.
Oh, 100%.
And the other games, while beautiful, I think they'll just be great games. They won't be like, like they're beautiful games, but they won't be like, wow.
Like a pillar that
Yeah.
was brought up. Yeah.
Like you won't, like you'll beat 3 and you'll be 5 and you'll be like, damn, that sucks. But you beat 2 and you're like, I want to do something about, like, it's like you'll go to sleep and wake up and like ponder about your own life.
Yeah.
So I think that's why Metal Gear Solid 2 is just it pushes past the other ones to reach the top spot.
I think I couldn't add anything more to that. I agree everything that you said. I fucking love all these games, man. But
I mean, you are hosting a Metal Gear Solid podcast, dork.
you're sitting right next to me.
Doesn't sound like me.
Whatever.
I'm cool.
To anyone that is listening and have strong feelings of what your favorite Metal Gear Solid. Not I
what is
misspoke. What is the best? Not your favorite. Okay, we're not picking favorites. If we had favorites, this list or what we're talking about might be different. The best Metal Gear, in your opinion, please email it to us at itstkandm@gmail.com. That is itstkandm@gmail.com.
Oh, I like that. That's not good.
I don't usually say that. I wanted to say it.
While, we accept all kinds of emails, I will point out that we've received some really thought out analytical emails, and we are also a university. So if I don't receive an email with a thesis, some intro, body, conclusion paragraphs, I don't know. I'm just saying, I have a new standard for emails now. So
yeah, to any students, scholars,
MGU scholars
that are in university right now, and you're writing a paper and you tie in Metal Gear at any point in time, feel free to email us. Maybe we'll hook up. Maybe we'll talk.
Yeah,
like,
maybe if you want to write a paper on Metal Gear and you want to share it with the class, send us an email.
You want some exposure on our humble little podcast space.
I would love to have a student on.
Wouldn't that be fucking cool?
That'd be I think I said it before. I reached out to a professor with my school email and everything. Didn't respond. It's okay, but
we're working on it.
We're working on it.
But if you want to make our job easier by writing a paper yourself and sending it in, we will read it.
I would love to. Yeah, we'll read it. Let's talk. Send an email to us. But again, you're not your favorite, the best Metal Gear Solid game. I'm curious. Let us know.
All right. Well, okay. Mm-hmm. Good episode.
That is all. Okay, that is it. Ignoring you. Thanks for listening, everybody. Bye.
Bye, guys.